Hello, saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Hey, it's Kim Commando Today, your daily podcast to keep you up to date with all things digital and beyond. And I'd love to have you be a part of our podcast. You can make an appointment to speak with me. Just head over to commando.com, and on the top right, there's a button that says Email Kim. Fill that out, and that's it. So remember last week I said I had a standout email. I mean, the one that's like, you're like, oh my gosh, what is this person thinking? And we read it on the show, the one that said like, Kim, you look like you transitioned.
Mm-hmm. How can I forget? How can I forget?
Okay. Well, this one I got today, this morning, might be even better. Now, I do have to preface this, that over on the weekend, my big show, the Kim Commando Show, is that I took a call from a gentleman in Montana whose dog is very ill. And he was asking me about, how to set up a GoFundMe for the dog. Okay. And so Anne in Reno, Nevada, she sent me this note. Shame on you, Kim Commando. Shame on you for recommending a dog owner write a sob story on GoFundMe. You advised him to say that his dog is like his child. Comparing dogs to children is so wrong. Get real, Kim Commando. Get real. A dog is just a pet, and any pet that requires thousands of dollars in veterinary care should be put to sleep instead.
So I guess my only question for you, Kim, is why do you hate human beings so much that you would put dogs ahead of them?
I'm just glad that Anne was not my mother, because when I got hit in the eye with a stick and I went blind, she would have been like, okay, well, that's just the way it is.
Just walk it off, Kim. You'll be fine.
It's fine. You know what? It's far from your butt. You'll never bother you. I mean, that's just the way it is. Hey, it's on that happy note, welcome to another turbocharged episode of Kim Commando Today. This is our Monday, Wednesday, Friday pod, where we talk about all things digital, but it's also not just an audio feed and not just a video feed. It's like this whole multimedia experience because when we're doing the pod, is that the podcast? Sorry, Andrew.
No, it's fine. I can stomach it. I hate that word, but I'll sit here and just take it.
When we're doing the podcast is that, it becomes this interactive experience because you can like, you can share, and you can comment. And we always read the best comments at the end. And because you're live in the studio today, Andrew, I think it's going to be your choice to read the pods.
Nice. The pods?
And the comments.
You're live via satellite.
I am. Welcome to technology. I am in beautiful Santa Barbara, California. And the reason that I was here is that it was opening day with the whole boat club and stuff like that. And
that's fun.
So we had all of the fleet blessed by two priests. And then the priest, Father Larry, I'm like, hey, can you throw a little bit more water my way?
Can't hurt.
He's like, sure, Kim, not a problem.
So
what do you
can I
have
ask
on
a
tap?
question, though? You have a fleet?
No, I don't have a fleet. I have a boat. But it was blessing of the fleet.
Of everyone's boats.
Yes, everybody in the Santa Barbara harbor.
Okay.
And so whether it's a fishing boat, a sailboat, the kids' whole sailing club, whatever it is that the priests come out and they bless the entire fleet.
I didn't know that was a tradition. That's interesting.
Yeah, I thought it's actually really sweet.
So do you get to go after the church if your boat ends up sinking?
No.
Oh.
But the drinking on the event on opening day starts at 9:15 a.m. and the drinking does not end until, I'm not kidding you, the drinking doesn't end until 9:15 p.m.
Ooh.
Yes.
Throw one back for me while you're there.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you got on tap?
Tesla. We got bad news and badder news for Tesla.
Oh, God, really?
Yeah, it's not good.
Oh, I forgot to tell people where to watch. YouTube.com/Kim Commando.
That's
I know
the
you
easiest
can watch
way.
all the other places. Yeah, you can go to Twitch and Rumble and Facebook. And just a reminder, this is not the Kim Commando show. Is that if you want the show, you got to go on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or join the Commando community. You get a 30-day free trial on me, and you're just going to love it. All right, so here are the top 5 things that are happening in tech right now that you need to know about. Number 1, the FBI is out, yes, with a big warning that says if you get a text message that says that you need to pay for your Easy Pass toll lane, is that it's probably, are you ready for it? It's probably a scam.
Scam?
I know. And that you, when you click that link, you're going to be taken to a state website that looks real, but it's phony, and then they're going to take your money. And so the bottom line here is that if you ever get a text like this, is just make sure that you know that it's totally fake, and you might want to warn your older adult, family members and friends that this is happening too.
I just don't answer any text advertising. Once it pops up, I slide it to delete. I don't even open it, and I move away because none of it's legitimate.
Yes.
These companies and these governments, they are not going to text you a link that you can do business on. Never.
No, they're not going to do that. And then I always it says delete junk and report. I'm like, yes, I'm totally reporting you. I'm not sure if it helps.
I don't think it
does
helps.
It help?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I just delete it.
So. All right, moving on to number 2. People are still, some of them, working from home. And now there's a big push out. There's a company called Delphi. And for as much as $400 a month, think about this, is that they will create a digital AI clone of you. Ooh. And they say that this digital AI clone is so good, it's so fabulous that it has trained on like all your Slack messages and your emails and videos and audio, is that nobody will know the difference. Nobody will know the difference. And so this AI digital clone will go to all of your Zoom calls. It will answer your text messages, your instant messages, Slack, whatever it may be, your emails. And so for $400, you can just sit back and not do a thing.
$400 a month. How much would I have to make that worth it? But what about all the information? So let's say we're in the meeting and the AI is told by my boss, make sure, Babinski, you have the T9 reports done by 8:00 tonight. Does it send me a text message or an email telling me what was told to me in the meeting?
They didn't go through all the details.
Okay.
But there are some people in the public that have started to use this. And some now Instagram influencers are using AI bots in order to DM their followers. And so if somebody sends them a note, it's not going to be like Kim Kardashian sitting there going, "Oh, Andrew, thank you for your kind words."
It's not really Kim? It's not Kim K?
It's going to be an AI bot. No, not at all. And then this company called Delphi says that if you use it for commercial use, this whole AI digital clone, is that they want anywhere between 10 and 15% commission.
Dang.
On your revenues. Yes. So you know what? I'm going to reach out. I'm going to see if they could actually create an AI clone of me. Wouldn't that be something?
You've tried it with your voice in the past and you couldn't get it to work.
It was horrible. It was horrible.
Would you be willing to give up 15% of the proceeds if you could have an AI?
You can always, here's the deal. If they start at 15%, you know that they're good for at least 7%. You just have to negotiate. That's just the way it is. It's like between 10 and 15%. Then it's going to be like between 5 and maybe 8%. If you pay the 10 to 15%, then you're just not that smart.
Okay.
Everything is a negotiation.
Would you give up 8% if you could have? You would.
Yes.
Do all the minutes and all the YouTube videos and the TikTok videos.
Of course. And I could just sit on my butt. Although I don't know if I'd really want to do that.
Yeah, you'd be essentially retired.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm ready for that.
I don't think so.
I think I'm one of these people that be 90 years old, still I want to be Martha Stewart. I want to be on the cover of Vogue when I'm 85 years old in a bikini. Okay, I don't want to go to prison. Don't get me wrong. Okay, but I do think that's something.
We can see if we can get Snoop Dogg on the podcast.
You know what? That's what we need.
He's always hanging out with Martha.
What about me?
Yeah, exactly.
What does he have against me? Exactly. All right, so there's a new title. You have CEO is what?
Chief Executive Officer.
You have CMO, Chief Marketing Officer.
Oh, marketing. Okay, I didn't know that one.
CIO, which is Chief Information Officer. Okay. Now there's a new title, CAIO. Okay. Chief Artificial Intelligence Officer. Okay. And LinkedIn says that the number of CAIO positions opening and people taking them has tripled over the last 5 years. So I did some research, and this is what they say that the Chief Artificial Intelligence Officer oversees. Okay, 3 things. Number 1, improve workforce efficiency through AI. What does that mean? You're going to fire everybody.
People, yes.
Okay. You're going to identify new revenues using AI. Anything? Maybe like come up with new revenue streams, right?
Sure.
I mean, you're going to come up with new products.
Well, that would be if you had a clone of Kim Commando being out there hawking every single product imaginable to bring in new revenue.
Yes, I know. Wouldn't that be amazing? And I like this one. The CAIO officer, the third thing that they're responsible for is to mitigate ethical and security risks.
We'll rank that third. That definitely is not going to be the most important role for that position. Also, I don't know if I wanted that job, I would just want it to be CAO. Everybody else has just got 3. Why am I getting 4 initials? It doesn't flow.
Chief Artificial Officer does not sound the same as
Artificial intelligence just could be under the A. It could all be under 1A.
It kind of like it's like, there should be like an old McDonald's song, something like. I was trying to figure something like a CEO, CIO, CAIO, something
old
like
McDonald started a tech company. He needed a CIO.
That's it. But this mitigate ethical and security risks. I put this in the newsletter today. You know what that is? That's CYA.
Yeah, don't get sued.
Exactly. All right. Now let's talk about something most important. Something about me, that's really important to me is how do you load the dishwasher? Okay. I mean, do you put like the plates in very nicely? Do you put the bowls at the top? Do you put the forks like pointed down or pointed up? I mean, how are you in the dishwasher department?
Well, first of all, my silverware is all separated by silverware type. So we got the forks on the right, spoons on the left, knives in the middle.
Okay.
Top rack, all bowls on the right side, all cups and like spatulas on the left, and then plates and big cups down below. This is very organized.
So now where do you put the pots?
I hand wash all pots and pans. They do not go in the dishwasher.
Do you scrape the food off the dishes before?
No.
You just throw the food on the plates in the dishwasher?
Well, if we're talking like a chicken leg, yeah, I'm going to take care of that. But if it's a couple of specks of mac and cheese from my kids and some ketchup, no, that's going right in the dishwasher.
Well, apparently there's a Facebook group called Extreme Dishwasher Loading. Okay.
There's a Facebook group for everything.
They have 31,000 members. And they say now a new survey from YouGov says the majority of Americans, 65%, that there's a right way and a wrong way to load the dishwasher. The average household has 18 arguments a month. About dishes. Do you leave them in the sink or do you put them in the dishwasher? Okay. This is, Barry and I, this is a pet peeve.
Okay.
Right.
Which side do you fall on?
When I use a dish, I put it right in the dishwasher.
Okay.
I don't put it in the sink to let it rot and smell and then put it in there. And sometimes Barry has a habit of putting like trash in the sink.
Right.
Okay.
We've heard this one.
Yeah. Okay. Which this is not anything. So, but you're very organized. Now, what about Jennifer, your current girlfriend? Is she organized?
She's more like you. She more dishes straight, or she'll almost wash it before it goes into the dishwasher. I don't go that far. I mean, there's powerful jets in there. I got jets on the top and the bottom. We're not talking.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're not living in the slums here with dishwasher time.
Well, the other day I looked at Barry and he was drinking some orange juice. And I said, "Did you forget to unload the dishwasher?" And he said, "Why?" I said, "Because you're drinking out of a vase."
He was just trying to be fancy.
Hey, coming up, we have a great interview. I forgot to talk about this at the beginning of the podcast. I don't know how to start this. Okay, she was having sex. Somebody recorded her. And the person obviously she was having sex with was that person. And then that video ended up on Pornhub. And now she's being used for AI. And she's like, what the heck is going on with this?
Yeah, her story starts from heartbreaking to you go, girl, because she's not letting anyone stand in her way. She is taking this by the reins and taking control of this problem because these videos are everywhere of her.
But I have a question for her. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Right?
Okay.
But I have a really interesting question for it that I don't think anybody else has ever asked.
Ooh. Is this going to be the first question?
No, not yet.
Okay. You just got to make sure you preface it so I know when this bombshell of a question is coming.
Okay, I will. I promise. Do you ever look at your bank balance and wonder where your money went? With all the subscriptions these days, it's easy to forget everything that you're paying for. That's why I use Rocket Money to do it for me. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. I used Rocket Money to save almost $500. Rocket Money gives me a clear view of my expenses. They will even negotiate to lower your bills by up to 20%. Just submit a photo of the bill, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's features. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim, rocketmoney.com/Kim. Hey, it's Kim Komando today, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Yes, set your calendars, set your alarms, because at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, which is 2:30 p.m. on the East Coast, that's when we do the Kim Komando Today podcast live on, Facebook, Rumble, X, but really YouTube's the easiest place. Go to youtube.com/Kim Komando. And then as you're watching, this is so amazing, is that you can like it, you can share the podcast, and you can comment. And if your comment is supremo, greato, is that we will read it here on the podcast and give you your 30 seconds of internet fame. I mean, where else can you get this, right? Where else are you going to get this?
Unless you're Arturo Torres, who gets 30 seconds of fame every single week because we just love his name.
I know. It's like, my name is Arturo Torres. Arturo Torres.
I love it.
I mean, and even if you're not watching the show live, you can always watch it on demand because we make great dinner time theater. We do. And then you can also comment because afterwards, Mads and some other folks are also going through the comments to make sure that this way we get all the great comments. So this is now where it gets super tricky because now we have to add a third person.
Yeah, it's going to be a Skype and a Google Meet and a live in studio.
There you go. And so here's the deal, is that we've all seen the deepfake videos and they pop up on social media and everybody seems to be writing about deepfake voices, deepfake videos. They are incredibly easy to spread and to make. 98% of all deepfakes online are pornographic. 99% target women. Today on the show, we have a deepfake porn survivor. I mean, would you ever think that we would have said that here on the show? A deepfake porn survivor. A woman by the name of Breeze Liu. And Breeze, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us exactly what happened.
It all started back in 2020. It was a beautiful spring afternoon. I was just really sitting at home, and then I got a Facebook message from a friend. And then he said, you need to drop everything that you're doing and get on a phone call with me right now. I called him, and then he told me, I don't want you to panic, but there is a video of you circulating on Pornhub. So, and when I first found out about it, it was really devastating. And I tried to commit suicide. And so that's how everything started.
And then did you know who put it on Pornhub?
Yeah.
Were you, did you allow the video to be made and thought it was going to be a private video between the two of you, or did you not know the video was going to be made?
So first of all, I wanted to clarify because I heard you guys were saying that I was having sex. No, it wasn't a sex tape. I wasn't having sex.
Okay.
It was it was just like hidden camera, without my knowledge, without my consent. None of these were recorded with any kind of legal ground.
Okay.
And
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It
So
was not a sex
you were
tape.
unaware, and it was of you undressing, and you were unaware it was being recorded.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Did you go to the police?
Yeah. So I did go to the police, and it wasn't very helpful. So to give you a bit of information about my background, I majored in peace and conflict studies at UC Berkeley, very well educated. And before I started my own company, I was a very successful venture capitalist in the technology industry. And when I brought this to the police, I was very calm and very, I was just laying out the facts. But instead of trying to track down the perpetrator of this crime, which I have very strong evidence for, the police, they asked me, have you ever engaged in prostitution? Do you ever exchange money for nude videos of yourself?
Wow.
Which is, yeah.
Insulting, to say the least.
Yeah,
right?
it was dehumanizing. And like what really hit me was the fact that, as someone who is an overachiever, right? I mean, who is well educated. I mean, it's like, completely, you have to, you were just like completely dehumanized in that experience, the slut shaming by law enforcement. And I didn't do anything wrong, right? I mean, I was completely the victim, but the society blamed me. But I mean, what I really wondered was, I mean, for someone like me, I'm well educated, I'm like relatively speaking quite resourceful, and I had to go through that level of slut shaming. So how is it ever possible for any ordinary women and girls to ever get justice?
But what difference would it make?
I mean, if they were,
What difference would it make if it was a video you made and sent to someone, or if they illegally put your image, your naked image, personal images online, and for them to call you out is ridiculous.
It is 100%.
yeah, but
It really is. I mean, it's just, it's like what you said. It's putting the blame back on the woman. It's your fault that this happened, and you must have set yourself up for it, because gosh knows why would he do this to you? And so I had read that there were how many different videos of you online at one point, and what did it take to get the video down from Pornhub?
So when I confronted the perpetrator, he immediately removed it himself, the original video, which become a direct piece of evidence pointed to who did it. Because at the time I was confronting him, like that, video on Pornhub, it shows it's removed by the uploader, but it doesn't just stop there. It procreated itself kind of on Pornhub and other malicious websites. And it was very difficult to remove all of them because it just keeps showing up at different places. And my action to confront the perpetrator pissed him off, and he decided to threaten me, and he did threaten me with scamsters, and he also decided to create more deepfake porns of me and spread it all over the internet, and it ended up on at least over 800 links all over the internet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a wildfire.
So over what period of time did this happen? Because you mentioned 2020. Was this all just like a snowball in like 3 months or 6 months, or did it go on after that?
Yeah, it went on and on and on. I mean, it just it doesn't stop. So, I mean, obviously the police, because when I called the police and the perpetrator noticed the law enforcement didn't care about this issue, he realized he could just do whatever he wants. So, that's why it didn't just stop with that one video. It turned out to be deep fake porns and everything. So so this has exposed a very huge issue in our society. When we fail to hold the perpetrators accountable, they realize there's nothing to deter them, and they will keep making even fake videos of you, because my action to seek justice provoked him. So, I mean, I wanted to point out that the injustice I have suffered wasn't just the crime itself. It was also the slut shaming in the process to seek justice. It was also, I was trying to build solutions. I mean, you keep facing walls, and people just don't take it seriously. And then the more you try to do the right thing, I thought I did everything that a normal person could do in her power, the more, they try to put you down. Yeah.
And so you decided to I guess, build your own tool because there is no real tool to go through. Well, let me ask you a question. Is there a tool that you could say, here's my face and show me every instance of where I am deep faked on these sites?
So currently, I mean, there is no tools like that. That's what we're trying to build. So because I mean, the internet is a very, very like, big place. So I mean, you can't just say like, you can like find everything. So it is a very challenging task. And more importantly, is like after you find out about it, how do you remove it? That is why, I mean, with my company, we're trying to establish direct partnership with like the big players so that when we discover that, we can take action. Because what happened to me was like, although, I mean, eventually I was able to like, find a lot of these like videos or like, deepfake porns of myself out there, I couldn't remove it. So, I mean, I had to like, pretty much like beg all around the world for people to help me because I'm personally not mentally stable enough to deal with all of that content. And so, yeah, I mean, I wanted to build the tool that survivors I mean, that I did not have access to in my darkest hour. So that's why I decided to create Electo AI.
Boy, I mean, it would have to just be devastating. I mean, to have this happen. And did you not have any recourse against the person who uploaded it? Nothing at all?
No.
So now you said you found over 800 different instances of the deepfake porn. And I read in one article that you had pinpointed about 145 of them to one company that held them on their servers. Were you successful at all in getting any of them removed off the internet?
So I mean, with the help of a organization, we were successful in terms of removing hundreds of those links. But those 142 links were actually hosted on Microsoft Azure. And so when the organization, which is like it's a French organization funded by the French government and the EU, and when they try to reach out like to Microsoft on my behalf, Microsoft refused to remove those things. So it was Microsoft,
Wow.
if you could believe that.
Wow.
Yeah. So when the big tech companies are telling you that they don't have the tools, they don't have the technology, or like, to remove it, that is absolutely a lie. I worked in tech all my life, and I can tell you, I mean, when I'm like telling them this is me, I mean, remove it. They refuse to remove it. Microsoft. Yeah.
What do they have to gain by not removing? I mean, they have you and this foreign organization coming forward and pushing. What do they have to gain by not removing it? It's not like it's getting them making them millions or billions of dollars.
So here's the thing. When I had the French organization reach out to Microsoft on my behalf, I mean, so I wanted to like, kind of emphasize this. As an activist and as like the CEO of my own company and as someone who's very well connected, I have a lot of privilege or favors I could ask. But as a survivor, as someone who truly cares about this issue, I did not use any of those privilege. So I did everything a normal person could do in her power and use the tool that is accessible to the public. I did not ask for any favors. So when like, those people like, who's like, very legitimate representatives, like, reached out to Microsoft on my behalf, they were like, oh, this is just another nobody. Like, Microsoft thought they didn't have to care about my fundamental basic human rights. But when a journalist actually reached out to Microsoft, if you could believe that, they were like, oh, we would love to investigate. So when you are nobody, they don't care about your human rights. But when you are an activist, they all of a sudden wanted to investigate. It's plain and simple. They didn't respond to that because they didn't have to care.
Well, it's a horrible story, but you are a survivor, right? And you are helping other women that maybe this may be happening to them even without their knowledge, and then they find out, and I'm proud of you for everything that you're doing, and I'm extremely proud of you that you're grabbing this bull by the horns, because it's not an easy one, because you are fighting big companies. So what is it that your company is doing as far as technology goes? And then what are you hoping to achieve with it?
So what we are trying to build is online identity infrastructure. So what we do is we ask people to upload their selfies, and we can generate a token of their face, which could be used in our to compare with the other pictures and videos in our database. And if we find a match that is malicious, then we let the users know, and they can flag that to let us know, and then we can directly work with the platform that we're partnering with to remove them immediately. So it's a very straightforward process. We just wanted to become the bridge between the individuals and the platforms hosting those contents. And then what I realized is like all of these, if you can control the content, malicious content on one major website or like one major platform, you can really, just like control it from like spreading further on the internet. So I mean, on one hand, it is true that these big tech companies have my blood on their hand, but I also wanted to work with them because I think this is like the only solution.
So what would you say to yourself back in 2020? And also, what would you say to maybe a woman that this is happening to right now?
I want all the survivors out there to know that this is not your fault, and just keep hanging out there and don't kill yourself. Like, even the darkest night will end and the sun will rise.
You keep using the word survivor, Breeze. It's and the way that you're speaking is I had a chance, I don't know, maybe years ago to speak to a woman who was raped. And it's kind of like a digital rape in a sense, huh?
Yeah. I think it's more like digital human trafficking, because I do believe a lot of these websites and platforms are profiting from those malicious content of me that's non-consensual. So, if you look at like the definition of human trafficking, if you're gaining profit from all of that abuse, it is trafficking. And it's like a combination of sexual assault, rape, plus human trafficking. So it's very disheartening.
So do you have your company up and running, the website? People can go check it out?
Yeah.
And what is that address?
Electoai.com.
Awesome. Well, Bruce, I want you to keep in touch as you're going on and with the company. I have no doubt that you're going to be successful. You've got everything going for you. And most importantly is that you want to make a change. And it's the people who want to make a change that really make the difference. And again, I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and on an ending note, I just want the world to know that to change this, what we need to do is to stop blaming the victims and stop justifying the abuse.
For sure,
Absolutely.
100%.
Thank you so much for having me.
She is obviously very bright.
Well, she's driven. You can tell. She's not going to be stopped. She is absolutely driven, and she's going to go. And the fact that and I knew it was Microsoft when I brought those numbers up to her. The fact that a company like that just doesn't go delete. And you have the victim standing at your front door saying, please help. Simply you go delete and it's over. They're all fake.
Yeah, but you know what? They're probably, I'm not justifying what Microsoft is saying, but I'm sure they're saying like, oh, we can't do this. There's too many files. We don't have enough people. And, all this, the same thing that they keep saying time and time again on all big tech. It's always, we can't control what goes up on YouTube because there's so many videos that are being uploaded every minute. Yeah, it's always that they become the victim.
But in this instance, the information was handed to them. You don't have to use any workforce. Just here's exactly where these 142 files are. Go and take care of them because they're illegal.
Yeah, but they're not going to do it.
They don't care.
Well, maybe someday.
Hopefully.
Nah. Do you ever look at your bank balance and wonder where your money went? With all the subscriptions these days, it's easy to forget everything that you're paying for. That's why I use Rocket Money to do it for me. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. I used Rocket Money to save almost $500. Rocket Money gives me a clear view of my expenses. They will even negotiate to lower your bills by up to 20%. Just submit a photo of the bill, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's features. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim, rocketmoney.com/Kim. Hey, it's Kim Commando today. Just a quick reminder that we would love to get your comments and make sure that Andrew, you haven't done it yet.
What?
Like, comment, share.
I'm not watching the podcast because I'm on the podcast.
Oh.
Would you like me to watch it? I can pull out my phone here.
No, I want you to say, like, when you do like that whole like,
oh,
hey,
do you want me to do
guys.
the pitch? I apologize. Yes, we love the fact that YouTubers come on and start their videos with, hey guys, this week on this week's video, we're going to be talking about tech. And we know how much you love tech. So go ahead and share this with every single, people who use tech, right? Your grandma even uses tech. So share the podcast with your grandma and do it right now. And don't forget to drop a comment and smash the like button. I love smashing.
I know. I love smashing the like button. All right. So you have news about Cybertruck. It doesn't sound like it's a happy place.
Tesla's having a bad day. We got bad news and badder news. We're going to start with the badder news that in an internal email, Elon Musk announced that upwards of 10%, actually 10% or above of the global staff will be laid off. They're growing. And so to grow, they have to fire everybody.
Oh, I think I saw the numbers like 14,000 people.
It's anywhere between
like that.
14 to 28,000 people.
Oh, just a little bit of a spread right
just
there.
A little bit of a gap. That will be like, and we're laughing at people's jobs, but it's just the fact is how they're delivering the information.
The message.
Year to date, this was the first time that Tesla sales were down. Tesla admitted to themselves that the Chinese electric car companies are building as good as products as they are, and they're doing it way cheaper, and they're selling more than Tesla for the first time ever. Another electric car company outsold Tesla, and so they're going to have to restructure the company by getting rid of a bunch of employees. Then they had to announce that they are no longer going to be delivering Cybertrucks to customers.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
You want to know why?
Why?
Watch.
So apparently the Cybertruck has a stop zone, and
this is someone on TikTok that posted a
why.
video of their new Cybertruck.
The accelerator,
they found a small issue that happened with the vehicle, and that's the accelerator fell off.
Looks different, right?
You know the thing that makes the car go vroom? Well, I don't know if it's an electronic vehicle, if it actually goes vroom, but the accelerator falls off, and this is a huge problem, and this is happening. We've seen so many issues with these Cybertrucks. We saw the viral video that went with the person on their first drive. They got their car delivered. They got in and wanted to go for a drive, and the entire thing shut down. The entire thing fell apart. The Cybertrucks, they're pausing delivery. So if you're expecting yours, Kim, it's not going to be coming anytime soon.
Yeah, I've ordered a lot of things in my life. I've never ordered the Cybertruck. I was tempted to order a Cybertruck, but then I'm like, no.
I think they're cool looking. And I know you disagree with me. I know we had a little, we went back and forth on this. I think the technology for self-driving inside of the Tesla is amazing. Now, there's another problem with the self-driving software is that Tesla was selling people on the fact, get the self-driving software now while it's cheap, because we're just going to make it more expensive as we get bigger. Problem, they're making it cheaper because they can't sell it because financing is so expensive when it comes to vehicles right now. And there's so much competition in the electric vehicle space that they're having to make everything. I mean, they've been promising for 3 years that they were going to have a cheap electric car out there. And they've now abandoned or at least delayed the plan on releasing that because they're just not ready.
Well, I think how much was it going to be? It was like 25 grand. Right.
That was going to be their inexpensive version.
Yeah. And, I still would like to know how much money that we're giving Tesla. I mean, here we are. Okay. We are self-funded. We try to go get advertisers. We're like an American business, right? We don't go to the government and say, hi, we would like to do a podcast. Can you give us $500,000 for us to do the podcast? I mean, if we were on NPR, we could do that, but we're not. We're on commercial pods and commercial radio and things like that. So, so everybody has to remember, too, that Tesla is not there because Elon Musk is going into his pocket to fund it. The U.S. government is giving them just a crap load of money because they want us all to be total EV nuts within the next 3 to 5 years, which, as it turns out, nobody really wants that.
No, nobody really wants it. It's going to become, and the more popular it gets, it's going to become impossible to charge your vehicle when you're out and about because, you look at I think it's in Berkeley, near Berkeley, there's a parking lot that has 40 spaces that it already is overwhelmed with people charging their Teslas there. And that's not all the other electronic vehicles. That's just the Teslas. And if they can't get a space there, the more there are sold, the less it's going to be. It's not going to work right now.
Did you hear the story about the Tesla guy who called the cops?
No, what happened?
Oh, this is so funny. I don't know where it was. But so this guy is in like one of those charging parking lots, right? And he wants to charge his car. But there's the electric car, the Rivian, and he's charging his truck in a Tesla spot and won't move. So this guy could charge his Tesla. So the Tesla driver called the cops.
Yeah, I don't think it works that way, buddy. First come, first serve. But that's the thing. All the electric car companies are using Tesla's charging connectors so that your car, no matter who it's made by, can charge it at a Tesla charging spot. The infrastructure is not there for that right now. I still love it. I still think the self-driving is amazing, but it was a very bad day for Tesla.
And it will continue to be a bad day. Although I did read one thing positive.
What happened?
And is that if you invested like 10 grand in Tesla 10 years ago, it'd be worth like over $1 million.
Okay, they need to invest time machines because I didn't do that. I actually bought Tesla stock over the weekend after it dropped.
Did you?
Yeah, it was a huge.
But we're not giving anybody stock.
No. This is my personal belief in the self-driving technology.
I wouldn't give him any money. Do you ever look at your bank balance and wonder where your money went? With all the subscriptions these days, it's easy to forget everything that you're paying for. That's why I use Rocket Money to do it for me. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. I used Rocket Money to save almost $500. Rocket Money gives me a clear view of my expenses. They will even negotiate to lower your bills by up to 20%. Just submit a photo of the bill, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's features. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim, rocketmoney.com/Kim. It's Kim Komando today, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Andrew and I, we talk about all things digital. It's so fun, and I'm so glad that you're here joining us. Now, to get the entire experience, I'm talking about where you really want to get tech know-how that you can use every single day of your life, and you're going to join 500,000 people at the same time. And I'm talking like super smart people. I mean, we have people from NASA, the FBI, the White House that are on our newsletter list. And so for you to subscribe, listen, you are just joining the elite of the elite. And then, of course, I write it every single day. I mean, what else could there be? I know we could charge you for it, but it's absolutely free. So to sign up for our newsletter, head over to getkim.com. Once again, that's getkim.com. And let me tell you, if you already get the newsletter, I want you to scroll all the way to the bottom because we have a brand new referral program. And I am going to give you $1,000. Oh my gosh, you're like, what? $1,000? Yes. If you are a subscriber to the Kim Komando Show newsletter and you give us 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to give you a $1,000 check. So if you are getting the newsletter, make sure that you refer us out because if you give us 1,000 subscribers, you're going to get $1,000. All right. So, Andrew, what's going on in comment land?
We have a good one from Teresa Parker. She says, wow, good job for Breeze for fighting back. What can we do as a society to help her? If it happened to her, it can be happening to others. It absolutely is happening to others. There's no ifs about it. Scrumpy 72 says Kim is in her underground bunker in an undisclosed location.
I am.
Did you get some information the rest of us didn't get?
It's not important.
What do you mean it's not important? If you're in a bunker, it's important. Lou Mello sent us a joke. Two guys walked into a bar. The third guy ducked. I thought that was right up your alley, Kim. Gary Sumner says, that is completely wrong. A dog is the member of your family, referencing the letter you started the show with from Anne. Scrumpy also added, can we euthanize Anne? I think that's a bit too far. Just a bit too far.
You know what? Anne is just not a happy person. She's not.
No, if that's the way you're thinking.
She needs a golden retriever to lick her face every day.
We got a comment here. That's the best way to do it, Andrew. I do the same thing with any emails from companies that I do business with. It's if there's a 2% chance you're getting an email from Cox Communications and it's a scam, that's 2% way too high. Just delete it and contact them directly if you need to. And we have a comment that they have a blessing of a fleet of shrimp boats in Charleston, South Carolina. Quite a show every single year because you're there for your blessing.
I am. I was here for my blessing.
It's already happened.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it happened on Saturday. Yes.
Did you party all day?
You know what? I'm not a day drinker.
No,
I'm really not.
So you just close your eyes so you think it's nighttime?
Exactly. It's like I had a half a glass of champagne, and
that's
then
it?
It was like, okay, yeah, I'm not. And then I went home and then my friends are at the club. They're like, so, where are you? I mean, they realized I was gone 6 hours later, so it's like,
I'm looking for you near your boat. Why don't you come over and have a cocktail with us, Cam?
Exactly. All right. So the big Masters tournament happened.
Yeah, we had the Masters tournament. And this was the first time that golf fans got to experience the Masters with the Apple Vision Pro. This is a user on TikTok, and he's getting ready for his Masters. And we'll just let the video run in the background. I watched this my jaw was dropped when I saw this. How amazing that the Apple Vision Pro can actually be. He'll have, at one point in his video when he's watching the Masters, he'll have the live golf happening in front of him. He will have highlights happening to the left, the leaderboard, which he can adjust, happening to the right, and then a 3D layout of every single hole at the Masters happening just below him. And he's going to turn to the fridge to get a drink, and you'll see that the screens just stay where they're at. And I thought this was so cool. It was so amazing as a sports fan. The options are endless, but then I stopped and went, but it's also still so lonely.
It's very lonely. When you were describing it, I was almost thinking oh, so Andrew, you're a big football guy. You're going to be strapping these glasses on every Sunday and sitting there on the couch with popping a beer. But then it's not there's no interactive. It's not like you can just look at your buddy and say, hey, that was a really great tight end. Not that you'd say that was a really great tight end.
I wouldn't. No, most of them are great tight ends, though, if we're going to be honest. I think the technology is amazing, but it's so hollow. And I watched that entire video. It goes on way longer than that. And everything that this guy was doing, he was solo and he was by himself. And I'm just wondering, what do these companies have to do to make this? Have you seen the movie Ready Player One?
Yes.
Okay.
Great movie.
They're going to have to get to that point, I think, to win over the masses, to where when you put on the helmet, you enter a digital space that's fully around you and everyone else is there, even if someone's in Kentucky and someone's in Uzbekistan, because otherwise it's just so lonely.
It's very lonely. All right, we're going to end. I have a great golf joke.
Great.
You ready for it?
I am.
No,
I won't make eye contact with you, I promise.
Okay, this is a great golf joke. Okay, so two guys are playing golf. Okay, And they're like, oh gosh, these two women in front of us, they are so slow. We ought to be able to play through. Just tell them to just go off to the sideline for a while. And one guy looks at the other and says, well, I don't want to go tell them. The other guy says, well, you have to go tell them because I can't go up there and talk to them. And the guy says, why? He says, well, one's my wife and the other woman is my mistress. And they don't know about each other. And the guy says, all right, well, then I'll go talk to him. The guy gets like halfway up the fairway as he's approaching the hole where the two women are getting ready to tee off. And then he turns around and comes back. And he says, small world.
I think there's about 20% of people that have no idea what the punchline is to that joke.
Okay.
It was his wife and his mistress, but just reversed. I figured it out.
Small world.
This program is a copyrighted production of Westar Multimedia Entertainment and protected by the copyright laws. Any rebroadcast or use of this program for commercial, business, economic, or financial purposes without the written permission of Westar Multimedia Entertainment is strictly prohibited.